WBC champion, undefeated as you said, and it's a boxer-puncher matchup. He'll be coming forward.
Big Buster Douglas against undefeated Dion Simpson. Buster at 246 coming in tonight.
And the canvas will be shaking. Buster Douglas, I think, the favorite to win this heavyweight tournament. He's top 20 material. He's beaten Tex Cobb to get a world ranking. And again, this should be an explosive fight because he's fighting an undefeated fighter from Detroit, 17-0, and got to see what Buster Douglas can do.
So we have the semifinals in our heavyweight championship, the tournament underway in the Eastern Division, and also Carlos Santos in a non-title affair, the IBF World Tournament. And he'll be watching with no small amount of interest as Buster Douglas takes on Dion Simpson. Next up, 8-round heavyweights in the second semifinal of our Eastern tournament. We'll continue from Resorts right after this.
Sunday night, catch our...
In just a few moments, it'll be James Douglas and Dion Simpson. Buster Douglas, who, as we mentioned at the top, weighed in at a robust 246 3/4. Dion Freight Train Simpson out of Detroit, undefeated, 17-0, 12 of those victories by knockouts. As the tournament moves along, Jesse Ferguson has advanced now to the Eastern Finals. Buster Douglas and Dion Simpson in the other Eastern semifinal. Out west a couple of weeks ago, it was Tony Anthony and Michael Greer. Before we get to the boxing, I don't know how many folks at home will recognize you, Captain Lou Albano, now that you're down here in town working on the movie Wise Guys, but welcome aboard. And the clean-shaven look, is that the new look now in wrestling?
Well, that's the new look for Captain Lou Albano. They trim my whiskers and they turn around and cut my hair. I'm down here doing a film, Wise Guys, with Aaron Russo production. You know, he did The Rose, and we've got the classic director, Brian De Palma, who directed Scarface and Carrie and so many others. And I'm at the side of, I've got the co-starring role with Danny DeVito and Joe Piscopo. And as you know, anytime you're at the side of those two, I feel so proud and so fine, so elated, so good to be involved with these fellas. It looks like a real winner. It's a comic, a classic comedy, I should say. I play Frankie the Fixer. And it's a real funny one. I believe all the fans out there and people are going to really enjoy it and want to see it. We're down here at Resorts. They're treating us great. It's Atlantic City. I feel like my adopted hometown. I started down here in 1953 when I was a wrestler years ago. In fact, I'd like to throw in a little bit about this Sunday coming up the 31st. We've got this big wrestling show with Hulk Hogan.
That's right.
And Mr. T up against Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. And it's going to be one of a kind. I've got Liberace as timekeeper, you know.
Liberace is saying here. Wrestling certainly one of the great phenomenon around in the entertainment business. Captain Luke, good to see you at a boxing match at a sporting event. We'll be continuing now with our next event.
Thank you very much.
Lou, good to see you. The heavyweights, Buster Douglas and Freight Train Simpson. Michael Buffer's in the ring.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, more heavyweight action as we continue with the ESPN Eastern Heavyweight Semifinals. Once again scheduled for 8 rounds, the referee for this bout is Randy Newman. And now introducing first in the red corner, wearing the blue trunks with white trim, he weighs 246 3/4 pounds from Columbus, Ohio. His professional record, 17 victories, only 2 losses and 1 draw, 13 by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, James Buster Douglas. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the red trunks with white trim, he weighs 220 pounds even, from the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. He is undefeated as a professional in 17 consecutive bouts, 12 knockout victories. Ladies and gentlemen, Dion Simpson.
And Randy Newman, our third man in the ring for this bout. Jesse Ferguson having won the first semifinal tonight.
Experienced fighters, you're familiar with the rules in New Jersey, is that correct? Any questions? Now remember, when I say break, I mean it. In the event of a knockdown, the man who's still standing will go to the furthest neutral corner. Is that clear? Defend yourselves at all times.
Couple of feet from...
Come out of the bell. Good.
8 rounds, our second semifinal tonight. That's 246 3/4 pounds of James Buster Douglas out of Columbus, Ohio. And let's see, he's got about 4 and change and has 13 knockouts in his 17 victories at age 24. Freight Train Simpson out of Detroit, 220 pounds tonight, undefeated, 12 knockouts in his 17 professional victories. And I I guess we got to get the laces all squared away for Buster Douglas. He has fought, I'm told, at 250 pounds. I was talking to Simpson's handlers this afternoon. I said, what is it going to be like fighting a guy at 246? They thought I was kidding them. They didn't realize that Buster was coming in at this weight.
Well, it sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but Buster Douglas convincingly beat Tex Cobb at 244 pounds.
So that was back in November. That was over 10 rounds. He took that fight on short notice, no less, so you have to be impressed with that.
3 days, Bob.
That's right. Buster Douglas in the velvet blue trunks. They're still going to be making some adjustments, I think, taping up the shoelaces on his boots. And then we'll get set to go. Already tonight, we've seen Jesse Ferguson take out Richard Scott in round 4 of the first semifinal. Well, we're going to do everything by the book tonight.
Well, we needed a barber for Carlos Santos. We'll get into more of that later. And then we need a shoemaker for Buster Douglas.
Cobbler and a barber keep the trades busy in Atlantic City tonight. We're set to go. Buster Douglas, Freight Train Simpson, our second heavyweight Eastern semifinal tonight. Simpson in the red comes out with those lefts blazing.
Safe to say a fighter with the nickname of Freight Train is not going to finesse you.
Well, here's a young man, Dion Simpson, who began boxing in tough man competition in the Detroit area. Never fought as an amateur. Douglas gets the better attitude. Simpson, you'll never really utilize the adjective finesse when you talk about his style. Leans in, though, and works the body of Buster Douglas. Strong right by Simpson.
Simpson's trainers told us that in the gym and while sparring, he boxes. Oh, he almost got knocked down by a left-hander. But Simpson boxes in the gym, boxes nicely, does everything they tell him. When the bell rings in a real fight, they say he turns into an animal.
Well, he's sending a candygram ahead of each one of his roundhouse left and right, but some of them are getting through. Dion Simpson in the red. Strong right by Buster Douglas. 6'4" tall Buster Douglas in the blue. Just underway, scheduled for 8, along with Steve Farhood of KO Magazine. I'm Bob Lee, ESPN's top-ranked boxing from Resorts International. World champion Carlos Santos in the title affair tonight.
In addition to punching Buster Douglas, Dion Simpson is talking to him also.
Mean feet with a mouthpiece.
Right. The punch to watch for with Buster Douglas is the jab. He really has a good jab, and I think he can control this fight. Even though he's naturally a good puncher, I think he can control the fight with the jab.
Buster Douglas, the left-right combination getting through against Simpson. We said at the top, when you've got the heavyweights, final minute of the first round, you've got the heavyweights in there, it can end suddenly, as the first one did. Always the great potential for entertainment in a heavyweight fight. Junior middleweights to follow.
Douglas doing a good job of picking his shots. He's landing a beautiful jab there. He's landing a high percentage of the punches he's throwing.
Simpson in a defensive quandary sticks the left out and really doesn't do anything for him except prolong the inevitable. That's the time of the first round.
Bob Simpson is used
Simpson begins to butt. Warning there from Randy Newman.
Well, that's one way to get him. He's used to coming right out at the opening bell and kind of overrunning his opponent.
Strong right, and down he goes. Buster Douglas rounded up from outside of Atlantic City city limits. And Dion Simpson never saw it coming. We're finished in round 1.
And he's still talking to him. Now Douglas doing the talking.
So the verbal sparring continues, but Dion Simpson could not take a step on his own without assistance right now. They're going to bring a stool over for him into the neutral corner. He is light on his feet as Douglas walks off this victory. A first-round knockout of Dion Freight Train Simpson, and the freight train was derailed suddenly. Simpson getting checked out. Dr. Paul Williams Looking at him, and there's your victor, Buster Douglas.
And here it comes. An overhand right that Dion Simpson never saw. And let me tell you, looking at his eyes, and he was just a couple of feet from us, Bob, you could tell he wasn't getting up. One more view. Watch the right hand. From inside, from a clinch.
Well, America saw the punch, but Dion Simpson never saw it. He got up. His eyes were focused someplace out between Mars and Saturn.
Tried to shake his head, but no, it wasn't going to be that easy, not after that punch.
Douglas had a few words.
And then he pulls out
more words, but no more punches. Buster Douglas runs his record up to 18-2-1, and so convincingly we've seen Jesse Ferguson in the 4th round, and James Buster Douglas with yet another first-round knockout. That is his 4th as a professional. He took Eugene Cato out late in '83. Only a couple of fights in 1984. Let's pick up the official time for Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the official time. 3 minutes, 1 second of the first round. Under the rules of New Jersey, a fighter cannot be saved by the bell. The referee stops the bout. The winner by technical knockout, James Buster Douglas.
So Buster at 3:01, as Michael explained, of round number 1. Advances into the Eastern Finals, where he will be taking on Jesse Ferguson. We'll continue from Atlantic City. At 8 p.m. on ESPN. Convincing effort at 3:01 of round number 1 by Buster Douglas, and Steve Farhood standing by with our victor. Steve.
Buster Douglas, a rather convincing victory. You seemed to be in control from the start. When you landed the right hand, did you know it was over right then and there?
Yeah, I knew that I got a really good leverage on the punch, and the punch was hitting flush. Early in the fight, I just had to settle down, take my time, because he was talking to me, work, and I just had to just settle down and stick to my program. I didn't want to listen to that. I just really ignored it, and everything worked out fine.
You did some yelling back after the knockout of your own.
After the knockout, yeah. See, I let my actions speak for itself. I don't have to, talk a lot of yak. I come out to fight, and I came to fight tonight. I also like to say, I like to dedicate this fight to Mr. Holman and say hello to my mom. I love you, Mom. Come on home.
Buster, you have a victory over Tex Cobb. You've been in the top 20. Now a chance in the ESPN tournament. What does the tournament mean to you? You're certainly on the right track.
Well, this is definitely a stepping stone. I always said I wanted to win the ESPN tournament before I went on to win the world title. And unfortunately, I thought it had passed me by, but I got my opportunity now, and I'm going to make the best of it.
Okay, Buster Douglas, first round winner. And now back to Bob Lee at ringside.
Thank you, Steve Farhood. We'll be continuing from resorts in just a second. It came at 3 minutes and 1 second of that first round. Dion Freight Train Simpson. The signals turn red for the Freight Train, and Buster with a crushing victory in round number 1.